Hello guys, 3 papers done, just one more left in group 1. I am not going to ask you how the first 3 papers went. They are done, they are dusted. They might have gone great, they might not have gone so great. It's okay. Neither am I going to talk to you about it, nor will you waste even one thought on them. Promise me that, alright? You will not waste even one single thought on whatever is gone. Now, what's coming next? After 2.5 days, we have a tax exam. We have the biggest blessing this November 2022 in the form of one extra day for tax. One extra day for that paper, which students find extremely difficult to finish in 1.5 days. You have one extra day, one whole day. Make sure you capitalize on it. We will do it. I'll show you a detailed plan, all right? When are you going to do what? A proper strategy, a very well thought of strategy, okay? You follow this, I think you will be able to ace it really well. All right. Point number 1. When are we going to start? Are we going to start tomorrow? Can we relax today? A big fat no, of course not. You start studying today and you start at 7 p.m. You start with easy chapters, but today I know we are all tired. Let us, relax our mind a little bit. So we will not do something very, very difficult and all today. We'll do all nice, easy, simple chapters. But these are those chapters which might be simple but important. These are those chapters which might be simple, but then even though you're learning them today, you will remember them definitely. Even 2 days after, when you write in the examination, you will not forget in at least 2 days gap for sure. These are those chapters. You will start with residential status with full positivity, nice positive thoughts. You will tell yourself that you will score nothing below 60. You will tell yourself that this is going to be your best paper, and you will start studying at 7 p.m. You will start with full energy. Residential status. Okay, why residential status? See, this chapter earlier was not so important. Since they brought in that 120 days, all those new provisions, since they brought in, this chapter has suddenly, started becoming a little more prominent in the examination papers. So you will start with this chapter. That is why residential status first. Do this chapter really well, especially the individuals part, scope of total income, do the royalty, FTS, interest, that part do really well, business connection and all. Then you will start basic concepts because your tax rates, your surcharge rates, 87A rebate, all that gets covered over here. When I say basic concepts, I'm not asking you to do 115 BSc now. That later. Basic concepts, just rest of the other chapter, especially focusing on tax rates, surcharge rates, rebate, all right, these concepts. Then you come to chapter 6 and deductions. Today, whatever you will be learning, the most difficult in today's portion will be only deductions. Everything else is easy, and even deductions, I know it's not all that difficult. You will be able to ace it. This is the only chapter which will take you some time. All others you see small chapters only. Deductions do well. You know why? You know that your paper, almost every question will have at least one adjustment from deductions. According to me, your November 2022, you may have one nice MCQ, case study based MCQ from deductions. Okay, so do this well. Section 80G, adjusted total income calculations. Remember, as soon as you see rent paid in the question paper, immediately 80GG should come to your mind. Okay, examiner will not tell you apply 80GG. As soon as you see rent paid, 80GG should come to your mind. As soon as you see interest, 80TTA, 80TTB should come to your mind. So do the deductions chapter really well. 80C, 80CCE, 80CCD, to that section well. Okay, you may get a standalone question also on that. Then you come to the clubbing chapter. Here, don't waste too much time. Here, focus more on number 1, minors, obviously, and number 2, focus on that, you must have learned about that particular concept where I transfer an asset to you. It's a revocable transfer, right? That revocable transfer of asset, that particular concept do well. And also that concept where I transfer an asset to my spouse for no consideration, inadequate consideration, asset changes form, do that part well. Okay, then under exempt incomes chapter, pay a little extra attention to section 10AA, obviously, agricultural income and partial integration method. Remember, as soon as you see agricultural income in the question, go and see, are they asking you tax calculation also? If they are asking you tax calculation, remember to apply the partial integration method. Okay, then coming to our next day, The next day, that is tomorrow, you have one whole day. These 5 chapters you will finish, let us say, by 12 p.m. tonight, and you will sleep off. Now, by 12 a.m., okay, 12 a.m. you'll finish them and you will sleep off tonight. Obviously, either you can, if you are somebody who believes in, staying up a little more, then accordingly, you will tweak the schedule according to you. I have given as a standard schedule as if somebody who's sleeping at a normal 12 o'clock and waking up at 6 o'clock. So tomorrow you have the whole day in front of you. You will not spend entire day for income tax. Till 5 o'clock you will be doing income tax. 5 o'clock onwards you will be starting with GST. Now, what are you going to complete till 5 o'clock? Listen, by the way, I hope you've increased the speed of the video, because I think I'm talking a little too slow. I just don't want you to waste your time. Increase the speed, okay? Listen, tomorrow you start at 6 o'clock. You start with set off. This is one chapter from which you will get a question for sure. A minimum 6 to 7 marks question you will be getting from here for sure. This chapter, don't just skim through. Actually work out 2 to 3 questions from this chapter. Remember the basic points, some important points. Speculative loss only against speculative income, but non-speculative loss you can adjust even against speculative income. So these small points that are hidden in this chapter, do them well, and make sure you work out at least 1 to 2 questions, at least 2 to 3 questions from this chapter. All right, so by 7:30 you finish this freshly tomorrow morning, and 7:30 you start with the chapter which we all dread, PGBP. But when you start this chapter, you will start it on a positive note. You will not start it with any fear. Okay, start it positively, confidently. Everything will happen. You will do really well. With that thought, you start this chapter. Okay, now PGBP, it's up to you. I have put up a revision video on my YouTube channel. If you think doing it on your own is taking too much time, you can just do the revision video. It covers every single provision. Okay, so I have kept a lot of time for PGBP, because PGBP is one chapter that you should be doing, really well, because it does have quite a lot of weightage, around 7 to 8 marks for sure minimum you will be getting from here. Your first total income question, if you see, will have a major part of PGBP being tested. PGBP, especially depreciation and all, depreciation adjustments, then 44 AD, 44 ADA, 44 AE, those presumptive taxation sections, 43B, these important sections, do them well. Obviously, whenever I'm asked, if I'm giving you a certain, a period for a chapter, make sure in that period, you make sure you do whatever questions you've marked for that chapter as well. You would have marked and kept, right? Those of you who have attended my workout batch, the practice batch, you know what questions you're supposed to work out. So make sure you work out all those questions in these periods along with the revision of provisions. See, one thing you understand, this is something which, a lot of students asked me even the day before law. See, don't sit and, try to mug up or, learn these sections in these 2.5 days. In these 2.5 days, how are you going to spend your time? Believe that you know the provisions, believe that you know the concepts. You will just read through, you will just skim through, you will just go through the provisions, and you will work out all those questions which you have marked. The questions which you have marked, you will actually quickly, work them out roughly. All right, provisions you will not sit and mug up. All right, provisions you will just read through once, because you've learned everything already. You're just going to read through and you're going to refresh your memory. It'll all be there in your mind. It's all the knowledge is there in your subconscious. It will strike you at the right time in the examination. Believe that. Okay, so by 12 o'clock you finish off PGBP, and then let us say you take a small break of 30 minutes because you've done a really huge chapter. So you take a well deserved 30 minutes break, and then 12:30 to 1:30, 1 hour quickly you can finish off IFHP, run through the provisions, co-ownership. Then what if part of the year self-occupied, part of the year let out? What if part of the house self-occupied, part of the house let out? Do pre-construction interest well. All right, these adjustments under IFHP. Then you take another lunch break of 30 minutes. IFHP maybe you may take time till 1:45 or something. Accordingly, you cut short your lunch break. Then 2 to 4:30, you start with the second head, the third head, salaries. You're done with PGBP, you're done with IFHP. Now you finish off salaries. Again, 2 to 4:30, just skim through the provisions, do the motor car perquisite well, RPF, the new provisions and all, employees contribution more than 2,50,000, then interest on the excess will be taxed as salaries. So all those new provisions under RPF, do them also well. Okay, 2 to 4:30, you finish off salaries, and then I've kept a buffer of 30 minutes. 5 o'clock you start with GST. At 5 o'clock, Lijil sir will be coming online live on his YouTube channel. He will be doing a live revision with you all. So you all can sit with him if you all think right, or whatever, whatever strategy you have made for yourself. 5 to 12. Tomorrow from 5 p.m. till 12 p.m. you go on with GST. Okay, 12 a.m. Why did I make this mistake this time? So 5 p.m. till 12 o'clock in the night, you will go on with GST. The next day, that is 8th November, day after tomorrow, when you wake up, you have another full day in front of you, right? You already were doing GST the previous day. You will be in a flow. You start at 6 a.m. with GST till 2 p.m. You finish off GST. So how much time are you getting for GST? 5 to 12 on 7th, that is tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, 6 to 2. In this period, you have to finish off GST, plan accordingly. This is more than sufficient time. I've confirmed even with Lijil sir. He says you can easily, finish GST. Do GST really, really well, because GST will be your savior just in case they decide to, play with you in income tax. Okay, so after you finish GST at 2 o'clock, take a lunch break of 30 minutes, then relax yourself for 30 minutes. 3 o'clock, freshly, you get back to income tax. Now, when you get back to income tax, you will be able to get back with a lot of confidence, because you're done with more than half, way more than half of around 70-75% of your syllabus. You are done. So with a lot of confidence and with vigor, you get back to income tax at 3 o'clock. 3 to 7:30, you finish capital gains. I've kept 4.5 hours. Even for capital gains, we have a revision video on my YouTube channel. It's up to you. You can either watch that. I would suggest PGBP and capital gains, these two chapters, I would suggest to actually watch the revision video for PGBP and for capital gains, because these two chapters, guys, when you're sitting and doing it on your own, you might end up taking a little extra time. So these two chapters, I would insist that you follow the revision video. It's available on the channel, but then obviously it's up to you. If you have a better plan, accordingly, okay, you take a call on that. Obviously in this period, you also finish up whatever questions you have marked. If you're deciding to do the revision video, watch the revision video in 1.25 or 1.5 speed, not more than that, because I'm already talking pretty fast in both those videos. Okay, so 3 to 7:30, you finish off capital gains, buffer of 30 minutes, dinner of 30 minutes. Let us say after 1 hour at 8:30, you start. 8:30, what is left? Everything easy only is left. 8:30 to 10, you finish off IFOS, and then 10 to 12, to 115 BAC, AMT, whatever total income problems you're left with, you finish this off. So by 12 o'clock of 8th November, you're done with almost the entire syllabus. Only thing which is left is TDS, TCS. The part TDS, TCS, assessment procedures and advanced tax, this is the part which most of the students skip. We are keeping this for the last because you're done with everything else. So calmly, the day of the examination, calmly you will be able to study these 3 chapters. That day morning, nothing else you have to study. You have to do only TDS, TCS, assessment procedures, advanced tax. Another reason why I have kept it for the day of the examination is these chapters we tend to forget sometimes. There's a lot for us to remember. We would have studied these chapters on the day in the morning only. So examination easily we will remember. That much we will trust our memory. Okay, so do these chapters in the morning on the day of the examination. Begin at 6, finish TDS, TCS first. A little extra attention to 194Q, 206C1H, 194O, 194P. Then after 9 o'clock, you start off with assessment procedures and advanced tax. By 10:30, you finish everything. 10:30 to 12, I have kept 1.5 hours RTP, MTP of November 2022 and May 2022. Not just November 2022, guys. November 2022 and May 2022. RTP and MTP, they have good questions. Okay, RTP I have uploaded for both. Even MTP I have uploaded for May 2022. For November 2022 I haven't. The MCQ parts I'll upload off today. Okay, and then finally 10 or 12 o'clock you finish everything. 12 to 1, in case you want to brush through GST one last time, anything you've marked and kept to see just before examination, you brush through that and you're done. All right, so this is the plan that you will be following. I hope you understood. I'll share this file with you all in the Telegram channel as well, the link to which I'll put in the description box below. Try following this as much as possible. This will help you cover every chapter in a fairly good manner. It will make this schedule will make sure you don't spend too much time on any particular chapter, and it will make sure you don't spend too less time on any chapter. Okay, I've thought a lot and then put tedious TCS for the day of the examination, because these chapters I want you to do with a really calm mind, which is possible only on this day, because before this you would have completed everything else. Okay, now listen a few things. In case you get a question, total income question sort of, and they ask you to calculate tax liability in the manner most beneficial to the assessee. What is the wording used? Find the tax liability in the manner most beneficial to the assessee. They are not using the words, they are not using the section number 115 BAC in the question. They are not using the word AMT in the question. You will still think about both of them. Okay, so if they ask you compute tax in the manner most beneficial for the assessee, you will not only do the normal tax calculation. In case AMT is applicable, you will check AMT as well. In case 115 BAC, you can apply if it's individual HUF, you will apply 115 BAC also. So compute tax in the manner most beneficial to the assessee, AMT and 115 BAC both should come to your mind. As soon as you see rent paid, workout batch students, I hope you're able to connect with all this. We've discussed all this in class as well. Others, listen, this list is going to be really helpful for you. As soon as you see rent paid in the question, immediately section 80GG should come to your mind. As soon as you see agricultural income in the question, go and see, are they also asking you to do tax calculation? If yes, then partial integration method should come to your mind. You're understanding? As soon as you see interest income, whether it is SB interest income, FD interest income, you will think about ATTTA and ATTTB. You know that only SB interest goes to ATTTA, but SB and FD both go to ATTTB. ATTTB only for senior citizens. All these small points you make sure you remember. All right. In case you have interest on housing loan, all right, you make sure you not only consider this in IFHP calculation. In case it is self-occupied property and you still have any interest left, make sure you think about ATEE, ATEEA and all, whichever section is applicable. All right, these 5 things are just like my last minute tips for you all. All right, so with this, guys, this is our study plan for tax. With this, we are going to kill it day after tomorrow. Okay, not day after tomorrow, 9th of November. All right, we will make sure that this paper is our best paper. All right, now listen, when you look at the question paper in the examination, like how I told you, even in law, you will use those 15 minutes to spot your best question, best 2 questions, and with that only you will start your answer paper in the examination. Just like how I told you, even in law, you will do the your best 2 questions first, then only you will go to MCQs, and then you will go to the rest of the paper. Even for tax, MCQs neither in the beginning nor in the end, in between, after you finish your first 2 questions. Okay, in case the paper happens to be slightly difficult, do not panic. All right, stay calm. It's okay. You have learned it all. Everything is in your mind. You will be able to handle it. Have that sort of belief in yourself and go kill it on your exam day. And we will meet again after your exam and we'll discuss about it. All right, all the very best, guys. Praying for you all. Do it really well. Make sure the next 2.5 days are your most hardworking 2.5 days. Okay, do not forget what I always tell you: harder you work, luckier you get. All right, I'll see you on the other side after you're done with the exams. Bye bye, guys.